So CaitlinClark is a hell of a player, but to say CaitlinClark was not a flawed player is just wrong in my opinion.
CaitlinClark just made a huge statement in the WNBA, and it's not just because of her signature step-back three. She's been putting in serious work behind the scenes, building strength and sharpening her game. Now, she's looking stronger, more confident, and ready to dominate. So how did this transformation happen, and what does it mean for the league? Let's break down how Clark went from being tested physically to becoming a powerhouse on the court, one that every WNBA defender needs to prepare for.
Every time you're seeing CaitlinClark out, it's like, okay, she's not as skinny as she was. And this is someone who, that's something that she really needs to, that's something she really needs to do.
Remember how CaitlinClark looked last season? She faced some serious physical challenges, getting out-muscled by defenders who made every possession a battle. It wasn't easy to watch, right? Let's rewind to those rookie struggles. She had the skills, but the physicality of the league tested her at every turn. You might have wondered, is this going to be another elite college star who struggles in the pros? But hold up. Clark wasn't about to let that be her story.
CaitlinClark in college was not the strongest player in the world. She was somebody that wasn't weak by any means, but we saw when it came to the WNBA that she wasn't able to really assert herself physically.
Clark's rookie season was a true trial by fire. She wasn't just facing average defenders, she was up against some of the toughest in the league. Right from the start, the schedule didn't do her any favors. Those first 4 games, it was like being thrown straight into the deep end. She had to battle defenders who could make even veteran players struggle, and there she was, fresh out of college, trying to prove she belonged.
In fairness, her first game matchup was a tough one because her first matchup was against Dejanay. Second matchup was against Benai Hamilton. Third matchup against Benai again. Fourth matchup against Dejanay again. So we're looking at the team that has their first 4 games against the freaking Sun and someone for the toughest defenders. And from that point on, it did seem like she was basically that she wasn't physically up to being a top guard.
But here's where things get really interesting. Clark didn't just take those rookie year lessons and move on. She attacked them head on. She hit the gym hard this offseason, determined to level up. Now, you're probably wondering just how much stronger she's gotten. Well, get ready, because the transformation is nothing short of game-changing.
She has gotten significantly bigger. Stephanie White has confirmed it. Stephanie White has gone out here and confirmed that CaitlinClark has been bulking up. That she's bulked up as a player and that she's no longer skinny and weak.
Clark has been putting in serious work in the weight room. No half measures here. She's added noticeable strength, and it's not just for show. This is a complete physical transformation built for performance. Her coach, Stephanie White, has already taken notice, saying Clark has reached a whole new level of strength. Now, just think about what that means on the court. Stronger drives, more control under pressure, and the ability to hold her ground against the league's toughest defenders.
It's one, is CaitlinClark stronger, or do you expect her to get stronger? And 2, what's realistic, in terms of from a great first year to now second year in the league where, it's not as new anymore, right? And you sort of know how the league plays, if nothing else.
Yes, she is stronger, first and foremost. And again, she's got a lot of self-awareness. And, she figured that out, right away. I need to get stronger. I can't get knocked around as much.
You know what that new strength means, right? Clark isn't going to be an easy target anymore. Those defenders who once thought they could out-muscle her are in for a serious wake-up call. Now, when she drives to the hoop, she won't just absorb contact. She'll be the one creating it. That's the kind of impact her off-season work has made. And it's about to change the way defenders approach her.
She was too weak to be in the W, but she was too weak to be an imposing presence in the W like she was in college, because she could be physically dominated. And then obviously we have seen throughout the offseason, we have seen some of the transformation.
You might be wondering just how much Clark has transformed. Well, let's put it this way. She was often described as too skinny for the league, and in the WNBA, that's a real challenge. Unlike college, where pure skill can carry you, the pros demand strength and physicality to hold your ground. Now, Clark is building that presence, and it's going to make a serious difference in how she plays and how defenders handle her.
Great job of getting in the weight room and really focusing on her areas that she needs to focus on in terms of strength, in terms of, low center of gravity, time under tension, like all of those things. I think the next step is efficiency, right? Like not so many turnovers.
Clark won't just be a perimeter threat anymore. With her added strength, she can now take defenders into the post and hold her ground. Imagine her backing down an opponent, using her power to create space, and then either finishing at the rim or kicking it out for an open shot. This transformation adds a whole new dimension to her game, one that will make her even tougher to guard.
I genuinely think that CaitlinClark had quite a lot of flaws, but so is still, even with flaws, she was that good that if she can figure out those flaws, she's going to be the best player ever. And that's the reality of the situation. And one of them was that she was very skinny.
And let's be real, this transformation isn't just about one season. Clark is playing the long game, building a foundation to dominate for years to come. This is the kind of dedication that separates good players from great ones, and great ones from legends. She's not just adapting to the league, she's preparing to define it.
When it comes to CaitlinClark, it's one of those things where, as good as she is, there are weaknesses, and it's clear to Stephanie White, who basically game one had the blueprint for how to beat CaitlinClark.
So, the big question, can Clark actually put that new strength to work? The answer is a resounding yes. She's not just stronger, she's redefined her game. This isn't the same CaitlinClark you saw last season. She's added new skills, new physicality, and a whole new edge that's going to leave defenders scrambling to keep up.
Still, Stephanie White knows what she's talking about, and confirming CaitlinClark is stronger is going to help a lot, because we saw after Olympic break when CaitlinClark got stronger that she was posting up guards. Like, she doesn't have very many post moves, but that double bang with her left shoulder into the turnaround layup floater thingies off the backboard, it worked really well. And like, we saw her taking some bigger guards in the post.
Remember how Clark used to lean heavily on her speed and shooting? Don't worry, those weapons are still sharp. But now, she's adding power moves to her game, making her an even bigger problem for defenders. Those smaller guards who used to give her trouble, they're in for a serious wake-up call because Clark now has the strength to match her skill, and that's a scary combination.
If she's able to play a little bit in the post and able to shoot over people, that it becomes really difficult to put, for example, to put somebody like a Jordan Canada on her. So she's going to have that in her arsenal, and it's going to make her harder to defend. It's going to make her way, way harder to defend because, if you can't bully her, it means that the Dijonais hand check through three-quarter court isn't going to be allowed. She was a lot skinnier when she was working out with, when she was in Iowa. And like, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, where I'm like, there is nobody that's like, there's no one that wants to get better in the W. I'm not, to say no one is maybe gassing it, but there may not be anyone that wants to get better more than CaitlinClark. And I mean that. There may not be a single person that wants to get better more than her. You want to see how much she's bulked up. She has really, really bulked up this last year. And if you've seen a lot of guards, especially with the way they come in the WNBA, it does take them a while to physically get used to it. I think that, or sorry, with CaitlinClark, that's a really, really important thing. You can do it gradually. And I don't think she bulked up like a crazy amount. Like, she's not going to be physically destroying people. I just don't think she's going to quite get bullied as much as she did. Like, there was a couple of times you could see her arms, you're like, okay, she's gotten a lot bigger. And then I do like the fact that she, by the end of the season, she was taking people in the post a little bit more. And that's the one thing I like with CaitlinClark, is that not that she's got good post footwork, but she's got a good ability to kind of like bump with her left shoulder and then shoot over her right. That kind of layup hook shot. And I do think on the defensive end, it allows her to guard small forwards. And that's extremely important because CaitlinClark is bad going around screens. Like, she is. And I do think when it comes to that, I think it gets better with Stephanie White. So CaitlinClark is somebody that is going to probably, like, she's going to, I would say, be, in my opinion, the second favorite for MVP. I think she is going to be the second favorite for MVP in the WNBA. That is how confident I am in CaitlinClark's year 2. Like, CaitlinClark was unbelievably skinny, and that was a problem even to start her WNBA career. CaitlinClark was incredibly skinny, and she was getting bullied. She was genuinely out there, especially in her first couple of weeks in the WNBA. CaitlinClark was getting bullied, and she genuinely, like, she was getting bigger and bigger as the season came on, as far as like her muscle size was concerned. The annoying thing is, like, it's hard to find pictures on the court that will show this, but like, you can see her. This is her in July. How much bigger her arms have gotten. This is later on in the season. Like, it's not like CaitlinClark's not still skinny, but like, she very much bulked up. Like, and she was in the gym, in the weight room constantly. I think it's an inevitability that CaitlinClark is the first player to ever average a double-double in the WNBA with points and assists. I think she's going to likely set the record for assists per game in a season at some